Good morning. Welcome back to the Dark Souls livestream series. We are still in our bow build. Quite obviously, I'm ensuring that I complete a full build before moving on to the next one. I'm not doing multiple builds at one time. I remind those of you who are new to these series of this fact, because, yeah, you may not be aware of it. Back in my Demon Souls livestream series, which I suppose I'll continue adding to. It feels a little bit weird to do so because, in many respects, those older recordings are somewhat substandard, not in terms of commentary, but in terms of how they visually appear. I generally look a little bit too bright, and I don't like the camera angle, and yeah, there are a few reasons why I'm not hugely impressed with those early recordings. And obviously the video bitrate was a little bit low in the early recordings as well, so I don't know, I'm a little bit unsure as to whether or not I'm even happy with them still being around. But it was the same with that particular series as well. I would focus on one particular build and finish it. I'd see it through to the end, at least, of its new game level, and then I'd move on to something different. If I don't do it that way, it will start to get very confusing, and I don't want to either confuse myself or you. If I start involving myself in too many different builds at once, I'm going to find it difficult to commit to any of them. Now, I should mention that following my experience in the last recording, I do find myself considerably more confident in this particular build than I was previously. Like, I have improved, or I suppose my feelings towards the build have improved because I was not anticipating such a successful hunt with Manus. I did a pretty good job with Artorias as well. It's not so much that, oh wow, I'm so good at the game, it's that the build is actually robust enough to shit on Manus, basically, which was... I wasn't aware. I thought it was just an average build, but it actually is functional. It seems to work reasonably well, which means that... And I know also that the Bed of Chaos is going to be fairly easy as well. Because, if I recall correctly... Oh, and there is something else that I will mention. Also, yeah, don't worry so much about the bad frame rate. That is something that I cannot especially control. It is the original PC version of Dark Souls. Now, I remember when I used to fight the Bed of Chaos back when the game first came out, I was actually not confident enough to go in and attack the... I don't really know, I suppose the brambles, whatever you would say. The sticks, twigs, brambles, whatever, that are guarding the two weak points that allow you to progress through the fight. I would actually snipe them with a bow in the past. Well, I'm going to be doing that again today for the first time in a very long time. Bit of a throwback strategy, at least for me. Now, you may or may not have noticed this, but in the previous recording I had neglected to live stream at 60 FPS, which was definitely a major oversight. I actually specifically intended to go live in 60 FPS, but by the time I had realized that I needed to do that, and then went live, I had actually forgotten at some point between those two moments in time, which was rather awkward, and it was frustrating to see that I had failed to do that. Essentially, it could have looked worse. I think that if I were actually playing at 30 FPS and then streamed at 30 FPS, it would have looked worse. But because it was playing at 60 FPS and streaming at 30, it didn't look too bad. But yeah, it should look noticeably better this time. I suppose if you were going from... God, what part is it? Is it part 16 or 17? Shit. Well, if you were going from, not the last part, but the part before, immediately to the previous part, you probably would have noticed the difference in FPS, but yeah. I was really expecting to be able to roll a little faster than that. I shall light the bonfire. I'm currently running around with 43,000 souls. I'm not going to consume these just yet. But, yeah, it's not really something that I want stuck in a boss room, but I don't think I really need to worry about that. What I will probably do, however, is consume one of my twin humanities and kindle this bonfire. I do have to tell you that I'm very happy that I've figured out... No, that's not what I intended to do. I am very pleased with myself that I figured out how to avoid the glitch which causes me to stay sitting at the bonfire after kindling it. And again, I've only demonstrated it once or twice. I think I did accidentally do it once. So you know for sure that it's not just some weird thing. It's not like a Doom Link problem, it's a game problem, okay? I'm not this special guy who has issues with the game that no one else has. It's... well, I actually admittedly have not checked to see if it's a common issue, but definitely it's something that I've been plagued with, or plagued by. And it seems that the solution is to simply select another option on the menu before leaving. If you kindle and then immediately leave this menu, your character will just remain seated and will not stand up, and consequently you must, like there is literally no other option, you must quit the game. Like actually close it. And fortunately you don't remain seated when you return. You will just be standing normally next to the bonfire, hopefully with it having been kindled. Cannot recall if it's actually successful, or rather unsuccessfully, saved the kindling process after having done that. But anyway, it means that I can comfortably continue the live stream without having to close it and reopen it every time I want to kindle a bonfire. Killing these enemies really isn't worth it. They don't give enough souls for me to waste the time. You can see that there are a lot of them. I almost invariably run past them, because why would I expend the effort? What I probably should do though, because I want to fight that guy up there, I may as well kill all of the pursuant enemies here that may or may not cause trouble. I'm currently sitting on 456 arrows, which should be more than enough for the upcoming confrontations. I certainly don't want to find myself in a position where I'm running out of arrows, or where I perceive to be running out of arrows, because that's only going to add a level of stress that I don't want to have to deal with to any confrontation. These guys are good to grind for, I think, red Titanite chunks? Yeah. Managed to get one there, which was fairly lucky actually. They don't drop that frequently. It does help to have an increase of item discovery. Oh, well I better deal with you. What's her name again? Oh, I forgot her name. I was invaded by Kirk because I am alive, actually. I'm not often alive while coming through here, but I am this time, so we shall deal with Kirk. This is one of possibly 3 appearances, but one of 2 that I can immediately recall. You can see that he has pretty high poise, which is making this a little awkward. I'm trying to... See, this is the problem. I'm trying to get the opportunity to heal. Oh, come to think of it, I don't have my wolf ring equipped right now. So in terms of poise, he is in a much better position than I am. See, basically, we trade blows, inevitably, because by the time... No, stop this, you fucking asshole. We inevitably trade blows because by the time I've loosed an arrow, he's hitting me. Which I suppose just means that I need to create more distance between us. Come on, Kirk, don't be shy. There you go. Not sure what this is about. Oh, this is what was dropped from the Pyromancer. I can't believe I've forgotten her name. I can't believe I have forgotten her name if I would like to enunciate properly. So he may give his armor set here. No, just the spiked shield. I think the armor set comes... No, maybe you have to purchase the armor set. I don't remember. Sorry, I never deal with Kirk. Kirk is not of interest to me. As well as that, I don't go through the depths in full anymore. I mean, I never really did, to be honest. It was not a typical part of my playthroughs. But, yeah, in the case of... You know what? I'm not running the risk. I have not done pure bow against this boss before. So just in case, I'm not going to take a hubristic approach. I'm instead going to use my 77,000 souls before taking on the boss. That is the prudent way to go about this, I feel. I haven't really thought about where I want to go from here. I've obviously upgraded my dexterity as far as I'm willing to upgrade it in new game, so endurance and vitality will probably be the focus now. I wouldn't get any benefit from strength, I don't think. You can see, ironically, my strength increase, well, what I should say is that in increasing strength, I get about the same increase in my right-hand weapon damage as I would by increasing my dexterity at this stage. Which, interestingly enough, does incentivize one to boost strength. And I will tell you why this works as an incentive. It gives me the opportunity to explore a new avenue for this pure bow build. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? I'm talking about great bows. Now, if I start leveling up my strength, pursuant to acquiring great bows in New Game Plus and using them, that would be a way to introduce some variety, I guess, in the future. That would be really good, actually. That may be the best option for me. I think, however, that I should focus on vitality. I'm more comfortable with upgrading strength once I've taken vitality to 30. I tend to like leaving my stats at multiples of 5, which is to say, if I'm deciding not to upgrade this stat anymore, I want to leave it as a multiple of 5. Unless, of course, I have leveled up a stat in accordance with a weapon requirement, which is not what's happening with my vitality here. It would be very interesting to have a weapon requirement which related to vitality or endurance. It would be very bizarre, because if you think about it, vitality and endurance do not relate to the wielding of anything. Yes, endurance can help when it comes to that, but there's nothing that directly relates to wielding weapons in the stat system. So maybe it would be too much of an upset to allow that sort of thing in the game, but I don't know. It's interesting to me. Just an idea of something to be done in the future. Again, Dark Souls games really have come to an end. What I'm playing right now is probably never going to return. I think something more along the lines of Elden Ring will continue. Well, perhaps I'm wrong. If we were to say that games along the lines of Bloodborne and Sekiro are more similar to this than Elden Ring, then perhaps this format isn't quite dead, but I would say that Elden Ring is actually more similar to this than Bloodborne and Sekiro, in spirit. Elden Ring really is a sequel to Dark Souls, just a large open world experience. So I do feel that they're going to stick with that. I cannot at this stage see a return to this. So therefore, I don't really think that there's a prospect of my little vitality idea being introduced, at least not in a way that would mean much to me. You have not dropped anything of interest. Hello, Air Gaming. What? You were out looking for a river monster. Do you mean literally a river monster, or just a large fish to fish out? Apparently, Air Gaming just went fishing, so... Now, first attempt pure bow build, well, first attempt pure bow strategy versus the Bed of Chaos. Certainly not the first time that I've incorporated a bow into the confrontation, but I don't know, we'll see. It's probably not going to be a real issue. Definitely the best way to deal with this is... Well, I don't know if this is the best way to deal with this, but... going to do it anyway. That should open a way. No, it seems to be a little bit more. Is that sufficient? That should be sufficient. I don't think we'll get any holes breaking up in the floor yet, so I can just go straight through. Alright. Now we must hug this side. Ugh. Having a shield really does help, I have to tell you. I'm just gonna go for it. I didn't actually mean to jump, that really was not what I was seeking to do. At all. Really have to love that invulnerability period of the Darkwood Green Ring, hey? That was really dumb. Of course there was a follow-up there. How stupid am I? The reason why I was rolling at that awkward time was because I did see that arm, the thing that looks like ceaseless discharge, was coming down trying to attack me, and in seeking to avoid that, I got hit by the monster. Also, I really should go in with an appropriate ring. Once I cross this lava, I need to equip Wolf Ring. The Wolf Ring, that is to say. Again, I ask, because I can't actually check while live, but is the audio fine? The thing is, if I minimize the game to check OBS, it mutes the game, so, yeah. If all game sound is coming through loud and clear, then that's great. I suppose that there's a way for me to check. I'd be able to actually check the live stream itself by opening it up and listening to it, but it's a bit awkward to do that while you're live, you see. And hello, Hossein. I have left something like 34,000 souls in the boss room. I'd rather that than 77,000 or whatever it was before. And that would not have been ideal. Dying to the bed of chaos does not concern me. It's something that I almost come to expect. Sometimes I can do it in one run, but of all the bosses, this is the one that I would find most difficult. Strange as it sounds, I can't actually speak properly today. Yeah, strange as it sounds, I probably would have the hardest time doing this in one go of all the bosses, really. I just don't like the way the boss works. I'm going to prioritize picking this up. Quite frankly, the Darkwood Green Ring should make this quite easy. I don't know if I'm even safe here, to be honest. Probably not. In fact, I can just do that, hey. Yeah, that makes more sense. Alright. I have raised the volume of the game, by the way, as compared to the previous recording. I felt that the previous recording could have been a little bit louder. Whoa, okay, I'm infinitely falling right now. Are you fucking seeing this? I'm infinitely falling. If I die because of this, I'm going to be so pissed off, because do you know how hard it is to get your soul back from here? Stop falling infinitely. I would be perfectly willing to deal with this because it is mildly funny. But I don't want to have to try and get my 40,000 souls back from here. Shit! Look at this. You can see my character is moving around a little bit, so I may be lucky and I'll end up... Yeah, I'm going to die now, thank you. Or perhaps not. I'm invulnerable. Apparently this glitch also exists in Elden Ring, but is it particularly helpful for a person to use this glitch? I may actually be dead, you know. It's possible that I'm actually dead, because I'm not seeing even a sliver of health in my health bars, so I really don't know what's going on. That proves it, I suppose. I don't actually need to close the game. What I'm guessing is that was a failsafe built in if a character finds themselves falling infinitely. So if a character falls infinitely, they will just automatically die. So that was essentially what happened there. My health had reached 0, but because I was still falling, the game was allowing me to conduct that animation, but because that animation didn't stop, the game was like, well, he's obviously dead, so just kill him. Very annoying. I should not have died in that way, at least. There's no guarantee that I wouldn't have died anyway, but now I'm going to have to very awkwardly try to get my soul back, which is not what I want to be doing. I want to focus on actually killing the boss. If I lose my souls in trying to get them back, then so be it. At least I had tried to do it. I'm not going to ignore them now. I suppose, I mean, there is one argument that could be made. I could go for the kill with the Bed of Chaos, which would then make it easier to get the souls back, but I'm not confident enough to do that. So, there you go. I'm sure Doomlink will speak properly one day. I suppose it's this laziness. I'm not enunciating properly. Alright. Did you just call Torrent torrents? Like Terrence and Torrent become torrents. I don't think that's fucking fair. You literally spawned me into this shit? Well, I technically wasn't spawned into it, but that's effectively what it was. See, I didn't mean to jump. I meant to fucking roll, assholes. I use the plural form because I'm referring to the game designers. See, that is dumb. That is bullshit, and I'm not happy with that. Let me roll, please. This is so stupid. Can I even get through here? I'm doing my best. I know it doesn't look like it, but I'm fucking doing my best. I shouldn't even be doing this right now. You see, I expect it to come sooner than that. Fuck you. I'm running. Where are my souls? They're in there. Hopefully I can get to them. Thank you. Holy shit. Well, I got my souls back at least. Let's try to get out of here. Ugh. The best thing to do is to actually stand somewhere safe and stay there instead of continuing to walk into the fucking danger zone. I cannot fucking see what is going on. Alright, what's happening? You're doing that? See, it comes faster if you're standing in front of him, but he slows down for it. Or she, I don't fucking know. In other words, the timing of that hand swipe is not consistent. Holy god. I know it looks easier than it actually is, but... just trust me. See the timing changes? I hate you so much. You are so shit. Whoever designed you should just die. The thing is, I'm not going for the jump until I know that it's safe to do it. I'm not going to get swiped off, but the timing of the swipes changes. For God's sake. At least my souls are not in an awkward place this time. I do not like this boss. I've never liked this boss. It's strange. There's something about how it's designed. It has never been a boss that I could perfectly conquer. I haven't had issues with many of the others. I don't want to use the shield. I have the dark wood grain ring. You know how embarrassing it is to need to use a shield if I'm using the dark wood grain ring? It's not even upgraded. It's probably got terrible, 51 stability. I guess it's not awful, but... anyway. Point is, I'm not a fan of this boss. And this is in stark contrast to the previous recording where I was quite effortlessly killing Artorias and Manos. But here with the Bed of Chaos, no, you can see that it doesn't actually have any... or rather, your character stats have no bearing on the fight. It's all about how you're personally going through it. How are you strategizing, or indeed failing to strategize? That's alright. We'll have a successful run this time. I did press the button to roll, but it refuses to allow me to roll, apparently. Are you fucking shitting me? I mean, you saw precisely what happened there. I rolled at the correct time, but then I was pushed, which extended the hitbox. I hate you. Hate it when you do the slow shit. Alright, just go, man. See what I mean? This is why I have to wait until the right time. Because if I just go when I feel like it, I have to deal with this stupid crap. I didn't actually mean to roll twice, I just meant to roll once, and you can see I rolled into that shit. This is not one of my best moments when it comes to the Bed of Chaos, I'm going to be honest with you, but, like, seriously. I'm almost comfortable to die this many times because I truly hate this fucking boss. It's just bad. It's a terrible boss. I suppose I'm not used to... I suppose I will have to use the shield, won't I? Because I do usually use it. If I have a shield, I will typically use one for the Bed of Chaos because it does make a big difference, but... I felt like it would be fine if I was just rolling, but apparently not. I don't know what is wrong with this boss, seriously. Well designed in the sense that literally I can play this game regularly for over 10 years and still be having trouble with it. It's fucking annoying. Sometimes I really do just go through it without issue, but then there are some other times, like now, where I'm almost, no matter how hard I try, struggling to get through it. I will have to use the shield. And again, as I said, it doesn't have great stability, but it should be good enough, I suppose. Well, the thing is, you can fight her with anything. It doesn't matter what you're fighting her with. A dagger, a bow, a sword. It's irrelevant. Because it's more of like a... feels like a weird comparison to make, but it's closer to a platformer, really. It's like platforming strategy meets... oh, shit. See, I didn't have the stability. Oh, come to think of it. You can actually see that my soul is there. Or souls are there. I need to heal, I know. I realise this. Alright, do your slam and then I'll go in. I can get down there before he swings. She. Doesn't matter. Alright, so rolling through here is the quickest way for us to get through. Ugh. It's fine. Another one won't come so soon that I won't be able to heal. Alright, it's two-hand. Ironically, using the shield did nothing to help me in that situation, but whatever. Hit you in the fucking head, or just miss you point blank. I was going for the head, that's why I missed. I was too close to get the head. Not that it would have especially made a difference, but yeah. Alright, well I got my souls back, and so now I am, once it wants to give me the souls, I'm now sitting on 100,016. Okay. Now. Vitality and strength, I suppose. May as well, right? I do have to stress that I will not be able to get enough strength to use a great bow in this particular run. Unless, of course, I do some soul farming. But even then, I don't think I would be able to. I can't remember the strength requirement for the great bows. Of course, Hawkeye Goth's great bow is the better one of the game, but that requires probably 30 or so strength to use. Whereas I think it's low to mid-20s for the great bow that's used by the Silver Knights. I may have actually picked up the great bow. Let's have a look. If I didn't, then I will go and pick it up just so that I can check the strength requirements for it. I do not have the great bow. Let's go and get it. It's easy to get. I will, of course, kill Gwendolyn as well. Might be an interesting fight. Maybe that would be hard. I don't know. Maybe genuinely difficult to fight Gwendolyn with a bow. I'll give it a try. It won't be necessary for me to turn this place to Dark Anor Londo to fight Gwendolyn, but the reason why I tend to do that, as in turn Anor Londo dark, is so that I can more easily kill the Firekeeper. The Firekeeper is already enraged, I guess, aggressive, and so I can just kill him. It's not a problem. And then I go and kill Gwendolyn, and that's that. I tend not to do it until I am assured of the fact that I have no need to return to Anor Londo and that I'm ready to move on to New Game Plus. Well, enjoy your peaceful sleep, Jack Zero. It was bound to happen eventually that I would successfully kill that asshole. Only 20 strength is required. Well, quite obviously, increasing my strength beyond 20 is going to help a lot in dealing good damage with this bow. But... yeah. Only 20 is required, which means that I'm definitely going to at least get the 20 that I need in this run, in this playthrough, in New Game. That's definitely going to happen. Stop it. Get a life. Haven't picked up that thing down there. I think it's a Titanite chunk. Not really in need of it, but to be honest, I'm too busy being aggressed by these enemies. Not really interested. Alright, I think I may... well, let me think about what I need to do. I think I will first and foremost grind some souls. It's not going to be hugely exciting to watch, I realise this, but... I do want to level up a little bit. So I'll get a few 100,000 souls and we'll do that. Won't take a hugely long time. Alright, Silver Serpent Ring. I did not get the Symbol of Avarice. Shit. Shall I get it? Who can I buy Loy's Talismans from again? I think the male undead merchant, right? So I'll go and get some of those, and I'll get the Symbol of Avarice. It'll help in the long term, I guess. I feel like I'm wasting Homeward Bones, but I can't warp from that bonfire. If I sit at that bonfire, that's going to be really annoying, so we have to do it this way. That is fine. So it's worth mentioning that when it comes to this particular build, this playthrough, once I get to the end of New Game, in other words, kill Gwyn, I will probably move on to Dark Souls 2. I would of course like to do some more Demon Souls as well, but I feel less inclined to do that. I feel like I've really done not enough of Demon Souls, but I wouldn't continue Demon Souls without doing more Dark Souls or doing Dark Souls 2 first. Because I feel like I haven't done enough of those. I mean, I haven't done any of Dark Souls 2, at least in the live stream setting. I've done 2 full playthroughs of Dark Souls 2, but non-live. And to be honest, I would enjoy playing it on PC on camera, because those recordings that I did were back in 2016 when I was playing it on PlayStation 3. Bit of a different experience. So I'd much prefer to do that on PC. It would actually be enjoyable, I think. I'm not a huge fan of Dark Souls 2, never have been, but as I've said before, I'm at peace with it now. Because I have played it on PC. It is notably better as an experience compared to that of, say, PS3, Xbox. I've never actually played it on Xbox. Never bought it there. But yeah. Oh, leave me alone. I will definitely play some Dark Souls 2 once I finish this build, is essentially what I'm trying to say, but the focus is going to definitely be on this game and Dark Souls 2 when it comes to Souls games that I'm playing. Dark Souls 2 is good in that it's a little bit longer than this game, maybe considerably longer than this game, so I think each build will be quite comprehensive and will involve a lot of recording. I'm going to Chamber of the Princess for this. I may or may not consume humanity to increase my item discovery. Remember when I was actually saying that I don't trust the whole item discovery system and that I seem to have better drop rates without maxing out my item discovery with humanity? I'm going to try and pursue that line of logic by not consuming humanity in my counter. We're going to hope that we can get the Symbol of Avarice with 20 Lloyd's Talismans. It should be possible to do. Shouldn't be too hard. Every time I do this, I end up buying more Lloyd's Talismans than I need. But I don't really want to experience not bringing enough, because that's no fun at all. I've killed you, right? Maybe I don't have a need to kill you in this game. Yeah, forget it. If I don't need Demon Titanite, why would I kill him? Seems rather pointless. I knew that you'd get me first, asshole. Fighting the Silver Knights with a bow is not enjoyable. See, when he does the shield poking, there really isn't much that I can do. Okay, I understand. Well, technically my range is better than yours, but I can't attack while shielding, that's the point. Do the swing, thank you. He could technically just beat me if he kept on doing his shield poking. I wouldn't be able to get around him fast enough to hit him from behind. I'll give it a rest. He just gave up. He was like, oh, fuck it. If he's gonna kill me anyway, I'll just let him kill me. Hold on. No. There you go. We will equip our Lloyd's Talismans. Our item discovery, just for reference, is 350. And, yeah, should be enough. I've got 30 humanity. I actually thought it was 80. They look like 8 upon first glance, which would have been pretty excessive. I'd better just fully heal in case I fuck up. Alright, fine. Apparently you can't do it like that. You have to do it like this. So, of course, with the use of the first Lloyd's Talisman, you are guaranteed to get something. That is... You fucker! I hate it when that happens. That is the most annoying shit in the world. So you are guaranteed to at least get what the chest contains normally. Which is silver coins in this case. Why can I not kick you awake? Maybe you never could. Alright, I'll just punch you then. But yeah, I mean, it's technically possible that I had successfully acquired the Symbol of Avarice first. Like during the first one. Whoops, I think I threw it too early. No, fortunately not. But yeah, that's really frustrating. I don't know why he's waking up like that. Fucking third try. Third time's the charm, as they say. Anyway. How about that? I won't actually waste a homeward bone. I can just sit at this bonfire over here and warp to the Painted World. I'm actually glad that that didn't take so much of my time. Again, I always buy more Lloyd's Talismans than I need for that. But hopefully that should also lend credence to my hypothesis that in actual fact, item discovery is bugged. And it's better to have lower item discovery than really high item discovery. In other words, probably better to just boost it with the gold serpent ring and then leave it alone. For the most part. That's the way I feel about it. Alright, Symbol of Avarice is going to weigh us down exponentially. I won't bother with the fucking bow. I'm just going to use the sword for this. Someone's going to complain, oh, how could you possibly be using a sword? It's a pure bow build, Doomlink. Well, guess what? I think everyone would prefer that I use this if I'm going to be grinding souls. He should have been running towards me, but he instead decided to turn around and start walking to the side. Which, incidentally, was not helpful for me at that time. You can see why I'm using the Wolf's Ring. I would have been awkwardly flinched in that moment. This particular weapon is pretty good for grinding souls. From these guys, you can see that the range is good. I can kill them in one hit. I am glad that I've fully upgraded it, honestly. Oh no, I haven't fully upgraded it. Well, that's something for me to do, isn't it? I had actually forgotten that I had neglected to do that, so I suppose I will seek to do that. How many chunks do I have? Only 2 at the moment, but I'll keep going. I'll get some more. Okay. This may be the last recording that I... Again with this shit. This may be the last recording that I do of this build. It sort of depends on how much I can get done. I would prefer that this were the last recording because I don't have many more bosses to kill. I don't have much more to do. So if I needed another recording after this one, it would be fairly short and uneventful. Mostly dealing with the killing of Gwyn, which may be entertaining, but I would say insufficient for a full recording. Alright. I would love to do some Elden Ring on camera. I don't want to give the impression that I am unwilling to record it. Of course, there was nothing whatsoever Elden Ring related on my channel when it came out, and the same remains the case up until this day. And the reason why is not because I don't like Elden Ring, or that I don't think it's worthy of my time on camera. It's just that if I were to record it, unfortunately, because it is the sort of game that is quite poorly optimized, it's just going to run even worse if I'm using OBS at the same time. But particularly, OBS is not very forgiving when it comes to running, let's say, taxing games on the system. Anything that is taxing to the system or on the system will cause OBS to not do very well. It'll choke. OBS needs a lot of headroom. You can't just have enough processing power left to be able to run OBS. You need, like, pretty comfortable headroom. I don't know what that's about, but maybe that's normal. May not be an OBS issue, may just be obvious. Hello, Vernon. I would very much like to reduce the length of time that I spend grinding souls while recording this game. But it is inevitable that I do it for each build, because it really helps to just, I guess, tie up the loose ends, make sure that you're getting everything done that you want done with the build. Sometimes you just don't get enough souls while playing normally, so you just have to increase it by a certain amount. Because of course you have objectives relating to your build. You have visions of what kind of gameplay you want to have at your disposal, like what kind of strategy or style of play you want to have at your disposal when continuing into New Game Plus. In my case here, I would like to be able to use the Dragon Slayer Greatbow when I come into New Game Plus, because that will be considerably different to what I'm doing at the moment. It's going to feel different, it's going to look different, and it's going to provide me with that variety that I'm looking for when going into New Game Plus, and I would like to think the same will be the case for you as an audience. So in order to do that, I'm indeed acquiring souls to that end. But yes, perhaps one day I will do Elden Ring. Maybe when I upgrade my PC. I bought my current PC back in 2017. It was, by the standards of 2017, a monster PC. Which means that it lasts for a long time. You know, if you get a monster PC, you don't need to upgrade. Some people who get those sorts of computers in the first place do it because they always need the best computer that you can get, the best computer that money can buy. Technically, that's not what mine was. There's always that upper tier, which becomes really quite low value for money. I would say for value for money, and within reason, I had the best money, the best machine that money could buy in 2017. You know, 1080 Ti, i7 7700K, and whatever else is good. But yeah, I think that it's not exactly strong enough for me to be recording Elden Ring and streaming on the same machine. If I had a separate streaming PC, it wouldn't be an issue to record Elden Ring, to be honest. But I don't have such a thing. So until I have such a thing, or until I upgrade my PC to, you know, whatever a monster PC by 2023, 2024 standards are, I'm not really going to be able to do Elden Ring. I say these things because, you know, you've now got fucking DDR5 VRAM, I think? Or is it just RAM? Can't remember if it's RAM or VRAM. But anyway, like, it's just this huge increase in speeds and... yeah, essentially the gaming world has really moved on quite a bit since I got this PC. Although, to be honest, I suppose in terms of graphics cards, the increases, the gains across the generations have not been as big as they were, say, in the previous decade. In the previous decade, waiting as many years as I have to upgrade would have seen a huge difference, just huge difference in terms of graphics technology, but at the moment, like, the 1080 Ti is still very good. It's not like garbage. I think it's still in the top 20 graphics cards you can get, so... as I recall. That was when I last checked. Maybe it's changed. Don't quote me on that. You still haven't beat Elden Ring, Werner? It's one of those games where, to be honest, you get to... there is a point where you get to in Elden Ring where you feel like the game should be over, but you're not quite sure why it's not over, and you start having to look around going, well, what am I missing? And it gets awkward. That was my experience the first time around. I was like, well, I don't know, man. I've reached soul level 100 and whatever, and I'm sort of standing around feeling like I've killed every boss, but I haven't, clearly, because I'm still here. I haven't killed the final boss or anything. You know, went back to where I'd fought the boss at the tree, and there was nothing going on, so I thought, well, clearly I still have more to do, and there was, but it wasn't really a clean ending to the game for me. There was a bit of confusion, a bit of uncertainty, and it wasn't smooth sailing like the rest of the game had been. But I wouldn't necessarily say that that's a major complaint. That's not a huge mark against the game and how it's designed. It's just the impression that I had. The idea that, quite frankly, I was just going through the game very casually and was able to progress. It had a very natural progression. There was no real confusion there. But then, towards the end, again, I was sort of standing around going, well, why isn't it over? It wasn't a reflection of a desire for it to be over necessarily, but it felt like that time had come and it hadn't in actual fact. So, yeah. Overall, I think Elden Ring's okay. I haven't really discussed it in depth. I haven't given an in-depth analysis of my opinion of Elden Ring. What I will say is that I understand why some people don't like it. Maybe that's a rather novel opinion to some of you, but I definitely know people who don't like Elden Ring. Die-hard Souls players, much like myself, to be honest, who really have no respect for it. I am forgiving of it, because I think that, considering what it was, I don't think it could have been much better. And whilst simultaneously accepting that, I can enjoy what it is as well. Like, I can actually play it and have fun. I think it's okay. it feels... I suppose a lot of my acceptance of it relates to the fact that I was worried about it being too different to Dark Souls, but it ended up being a very natural progression from Dark Souls 3 to Elden Ring. It felt like Dark Souls 4, except instead of Dark Souls, like, I guess, world building or world design, it was instead this open world system, which was, you know, very much Elden Ring. It was its own thing, but it played like Dark Souls 4. And I was very glad to see that, to be honest. I was happy to feel so comfortable in coming into a game that I'd never played before. It's part of what I was expecting of the Dark Souls series. Each time I would play a new iteration, you know, it would be different in certain ways, but the structure and the skeleton of the game would be the same, so it would only require a little bit of adjustment. That was the experience that I had with Elden Ring. Yes, there were changes, like you could jump whenever you wanted, and there were some other additional abilities that the character possessed beyond the other games, but it was a natural progression, so it was comfortable for me. I am not so flexible as other people are when it comes to changes to this formula. I could not enjoy Bloodborne because of it. The fact that you were sliding from side to side and that shield mechanics didn't really exist anymore, you had like a gun parry, that shit was so off-putting and unsettling to me that I have forever refused to return to that game. And I would imagine that Sekiro would be a similar thing for me. So because Elden Ring is so similar to Dark Souls, I can enjoy it, and I can respect it. Whereas I think one of my Russian viewers, he has been watching me almost since I started the Demon Souls livestream series. And he said that one of the reasons why he doesn't enjoy Elden Ring is precisely because it's so similar to Dark Souls. I mean, you can't fucking please anyone, can you? Or rather, you can't please everyone. I mean, it's probably unfair to say you can't please anyone, but I guess what I mean to say is that among the diehard fans, they will always find a reason to take issue with your game when it is literally not the games that they came to love. And so that's why I make an allowance for what Elden Ring is. I'm not going to sit here and say that it's bad or that it's poorly done. What it really comes down to is the philosophy behind its design, and you just have to look at what they were going for. There was nothing about Elden Ring that in any way demeaned what Souls is. And I suppose what I'm getting at, obviously, is the comparison between Souls and Monster Hunter in how it changed. From Software made a big mistake. That big mistake was Dark Souls 2, but they immediately rectified that mistake. They realized that it was not in the spirit of Souls. It was rather empty and obviously designed from the ground up to essentially be as hard as possible, but in the most uncreative way. And there were a lot of other issues with it too, and From Software actually recognized that despite the fact that most people who were playing it at the time had never played another Souls game and consequently were absolutely weak in the knees for the game. They would so... like, the adulation for Dark Souls 2 was so sickening at the time that I was almost permanently unwilling to return to the community. Like, I was done. I was like, fuck you people, you are idiots, and I have no interest in your views or opinions. I'm done. But despite that, despite the fact that Dark Souls 2 did very well, From Software knew what they had done wrong. They actually could see it, and they said to themselves, you know what? Let's return to the spirit of Souls, and that's when Dark Souls 3 came out. There were aspects to Dark Souls 3, admittedly, that not everyone was a fan of, but you cannot deny that it was a natural progression. It was a Souls game, and it retained the essence and spirit of Souls. Just some people would play it and go, this is too easy. I never played Souls for the difficulty. I don't even consider Souls to be especially difficult at all, to be honest. I mean, you compare a Souls game to like a traditional game, like a retro game, Retro games were fucking hard. They were actually crushingly difficult, and so unfair. Souls is nothing like that. Souls is unfair at times, but what Souls is essentially a game that makes you learn how to play it. If you're unwilling to learn how to play it, you're going to have a bad time. Once you learn how to play it, develop a level of patience, and I guess take on board everything that's required, you will succeed. And you'll reach a point where every time you die, you recognize that it's your fault. That's very different to a crushingly difficult game where you can comfortably sit back and say, well, the game is fucking difficult, it's so fucking hard, I have been set up to fail and all of this. You don't get that with Souls. When you actually learn how to play the game and you die, it's your fault. Usually. Maybe some of those deaths during the Bed of Chaos were not so much, as I've just described, but still, generally speaking, yeah, like that is Souls. That is how Souls would differ from an actual crushingly difficult game. So for me, when a Souls game becomes a little easier, as long as the essence of Souls remains, which is not the fact that it's crushingly hard, which it's not even, it's the way you progress through the world, it's the way that you upgrade your weapons, it's the way that combat feels, it's the way that the overall game feels, really. Dark Souls 2 was different in that respect because you were so busy having to deal with the fact that, first and foremost, the game on every single level was designed to be harder. Like, they literally identified a difficulty factor in every minute aspect of the game and turned it up to max. That's what they did. And the funny thing is, it still wasn't crushingly difficult, but you could see it. So many aspects had been made harder, but what it did was it created an imbalance in the experience. And From Software deserves such a pat on the back, such kudos for the fact that they didn't keep with that. They realized that there was more to Souls than just making a hard game. But they lost their way just for that particular release. And it was so refreshing to see them pull themselves back from that. Monster Hunter, on the other hand, will never do that. Because Capcom doesn't have the dignity that From Software does. They don't have the strength of vision that Capcom does. Excuse me, that From Software does. Capcom, at this stage, have done away with what made Monster Hunter special. It's gone. It's finished. So it's a very different story, you know. Because there are so many fundamental issues with new Monster Hunter games, I cannot respect them. But fundamentally, I think Elden Ring still retains that Souls feeling, and it's not designed to streamline, simplify, or demean the Souls formula. There's probably a little bit of streamlining in Elden Ring, I won't deny it, but it's nothing that's designed to bring people in who wouldn't have played Dark Souls. Not from what I can tell. Not in a blatant way. Not in a way that completely strips the dignity of the series. No, fair enough, Vernon, if you're worried about getting your heart rate up while playing a game, I think that's quite fair. Hadn't really thought about that, honestly, but that is an understandable concern that you would have. This guy fucking followed me in here. An update on my souls, because I'm assuming that I'm in the way of them. I'm at 263,000. And I had that discussion that I had before to, at the very least, provide you with at least something to listen to or to watch while I'm engaging in this repetitious exercise. I'm honestly going to see how much I can level up with these souls and then hope that I don't need to level up anymore. Because to be honest, yeah, okay, very good. That is going to do me, I think, because 23 strength, I mean, oof. No, this is okay. I'm going to level up to this, and then I'm going to consume the consumable souls that I have in my inventory to purchase great arrows. That's what I'll do. Very good. I will, just so that I don't forget, organize my rings again. Wolf ring. Okay, let's now consume these. And as well as that, I suppose what I'll do, because I'm going to be passing through here anyway, is I will equip those rings again. What was the other one? That a wolf ring, yeah. I'll technically do another round, but that will actually be so that I can continue to Anor Londo. After this, we will take on Dark Anor Londo, get ourselves another Firekeeper soul, kill Gwendolyn, level up if we can, and then we will seek to take on Gwyn, which may be quite difficult. I'm not going to be using... Oh no, actually, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. I do still need to level up my Baldurcide sword, and I will also obviously want to level up my Dragonslayer Greatbow. The point being that when I come into New Game Plus, it's not going to be so easy for me to immediately upgrade that thing. I'm not going to have access to the blacksmiths that I want. So I do want to be able to upgrade it as much as I can here in New Game first. So yeah, I do still have a few things to do. That is the point. There are also considerations relating to mobility that I need to address. Essentially, I'm not going to be able to fast roll with a great bow, I don't think. Unless I make a real change to my build. I could use the Mask of the Father, for example. It's not going to make a huge difference, but I'm already using a low defense light hat, so I suppose using the Mask of the Father would only make sense. I may do that, actually. I'm not really in desperate need of more defense than what I've already got, so... Hello. Your shield is very annoying. Has anyone ever told you that? Fuck. Sometimes you do just need a target. I'm happy to deal with you, I just don't want to accidentally roll off the edge, because of course, the Darkwood Grain Ring is both a blessing and a curse in the sense that sometimes you can just roll too far. That's fine, good for you. Congratulations. Ow. It's not really worth fighting you, is it? If we're honest. See how he delays the swing? That is the best way to fuck with a player. Delay the swing. I sadly couldn't roll fast enough there. I know it may have appeared as if I could have done, but no. Are you still alive? I can kill you through your shield, or perhaps not even. Goodbye. That was 1,300 souls and a large Titanite shard that, quite frankly, I didn't need, so... I don't know if that was really worth it. But sometimes it's good to actually play the game. There is a temptation to kill you, but... I don't know. There is also a temptation to be smarter with my time, because I do still have a few things that I want to take care of. I believe the use of a Homeward Bone from this position will take me to the Anor Londo bonfire, so I will use it. Yes. Alrighty. Imagine if it took me back to the painted world, how annoying would that be? Okay. So, how many chunks do I think that I'll need? Do I have a slab? I'm pretty sure I've got a slab, yeah. So, oh, here's the question. Would I be with... Oh no, there's calamite as well. I forgot about calamite. And there's also the slab in the calamite area. So, yeah, I'm glad that I just remembered about calamite. Or was reminded of calamite by considering the slabs that exist in the game. I have acquired, I think, 2 slabs. One from the Stray Demon, and another from a Dark Wraith, actually, which doesn't often happen in my playthroughs. Of course, getting one from a Dark Wraith is pretty significant. And I did get one. So that was very nice. To be honest, if I'm going to have the Grass Crest Shield equipped at all times, which is something that I'm willing to do, I think that's a good strategy, I would like to upgrade it. I'm going to upgrade it as much as I can. Oh, but to get back to the previous point that I was going to make, I think I should instead prioritize a Titanite slab for the Dragonslayer Greatbow, except perhaps that's not a good idea. Hawkeye's Greatbow may be better to fully upgrade. Or perhaps I shouldn't even worry so much about it, because if I'm going into New Game Plus anyway, I will have access to more slabs. So, maybe I'll do that. Oh yeah, I was tempted to use the Avalon as well. I mean, there's no real reason why I'm limited to regular bows. Crossbows work too. But the thing with the Avalon is that it's a bit heavy. I'd actually forgotten about it, to be honest. So, yeah, I suppose in the long term, what my ideal would be is to have a bow, a great bow, a shield, and a crossbow all equipped at once while fast rolling with the Darkwood Grain Ring, which presumably would require a lot of endurance. A lot of endurance. So, I will take my vitality to maybe 40. I'll cap it at 40. This is referring to New Game Plus strategy. Like what I will seek to do with my character upgrading when in New Game Plus. I'll probably leave vitality at 40, because once you go beyond 40 it gets a bit unnecessary. Like, come on, do I need that much health? Perhaps in New Game Plus 5 and beyond, yes. But I think the focus will be on endurance once I get strength to, I'm going to say whatever is required to use the Owen Laos. Of course, Hawkeye Goth's Greatbow will be, I believe, considerably heavier than the Dragonslayer Greatbow, so maybe it would be unsustainable to bother using that. I'm actually going to check. I'm going to check some information. I'm going to see. Get out of my... I'm about to scream. I hate you so much, Twitch. You're so annoying. I don't even want to talk about it right now. Alright, yeah, good for you. I'm going to check the stats of the Greatbow. The Hawkeye Goth Greatbow. Goth's Greatbow. Ew, Fextra life. 27 strength requirement, but how heavy is it? 13 units of weight, wow. To be honest, that one's 10, so can I live with an additional 3? To be honest, it's not as heavier than this bow as I thought it was going to be. But I saw 13 and I went, oh god, that's heavy. But, to be honest, it's... Well, as well as that, it would presumably use Twinkling Titanite, wouldn't it? To upgrade. It is considerably better. How about the scalings? Does it have scalings? Fextra life, why do you suck so hard? Okay. So it gets a B scaling from the outset. And the Twinkling Titanite upgrading really is attractive, so maybe I'll just forget the Dragonslayer Greatbow anyway, because I'm already here in the endgame with Goth's Greatbow presumably within my reach. Although I forgot how to get it, let me check. Fuck off, Extra Life. I hate you so much. Whoever designed you, just die. Please, do everyone a fucking favor. After defeating Black Dragon Calamite, talk to Goth, and he will give you his bow. Alright. Cool. We're going to focus on that bow. We're not going to worry about the Dragon Slayer Great Bow. I'm sort of skipping through my plans here. Yeah, that should be fine. Let's do that. Because I'm going to kill Calamite anyway. That is the plan. Twitch, if you could please work. Just please. I'm not asking for much. I'm just asking to be able to press the pause button on my playback. And to have it work. Fuck you. I hate you, Twitch. Literally, if you're on the Twitch app, right? And you minimize it, and then return to it, you literally can't pause the live stream. It's like, oh, sorry, we're broken. This is a broken app, enjoy. Stupid crap. Anyway. I will top up my wine. Ugh. Quantity over quality, ladies and gentlemen. No. There will definitely be a cost associated with these great arrows that I will have to purchase, but that's alright. I suppose what I'll do, I'll take care of this first and foremost. This may be a long recording, I don't know. I'm going to have this recording take as long as it needs to for me to get everything that I want done in New Game. Oh, I should probably also, while I'm thinking of it, this is the thing that I'm most likely to forget. It is the Mask of the Father. What is the quickest way to get to that? Mask of the Father will drop fairly frequently from the pinwheel enemies leading up to the Altar of the Gravelords. So we will go to Tomb of the Giants. I will use a Sunlight Maggot, presuming that I have one. No, it's not a Sunlight Maggot. Do I not have one here? Fuck. Okay, well I don't have a Sunlight Maggot apparently, which is annoying. I guess I must have a lantern. Right? Yes. Thankfully. Can I fast roll still? No, I can't. Fucking hell. Ugh. It's alright, I'll just run through the area to get to where I need to go. I'm willing to do that. Go away. Fuck off. Creepy enemy. It's fairly easy to get the different masks once you have access to the pinwheel enemies as normal enemies. But it is nice if you're wanting to use a mask, to use it in the early game. You can gain access to a mask very early on, of course, because you can reach the catacombs from the very beginning of the game, run through it, and kill Pinwheel because he's easy to kill. He'll deal a lot of damage to you at the start, but it's fairly easy to avoid his attacks, that's the point. So, yeah. Obviously we don't want the Mask of the Child. We've already got the effect of the Mask of the Child. Courtesy of our Grass Crest Shield. I may have to kill these skeletons. I don't think they'll pursue me if I'm hanging around here. Maybe not. Should be fine. I have 20 Estus Flasks. I shouldn't need more than that. I will use the Gold Serpent Ring. Two arrows seems to be enough to kill them. Takes a while to actually get something to appear, doesn't it? From these guys. Ugh. I guess they have a more epic death sequence because at one time they were a boss enemy, so. Oh, why are the midgets attacking me here? The midgets should only come if I'm in the water. What's wrong with you guys? I never went into the water, so leave me alone. Ugh, midgets. Am I right? Seriously. They do give plenty of white titanite chunks as we can tell, but it's not quite what I'm looking for. Hello. I don't really want to go into the water to pick up your thing if you drop something, but yeah. Actually, come to think of it, what mask did I even get? I never picked up the mask that I acquired from him when I killed him. Is it still going to be in the boss room? It might still be in the boss room, you know. Should I give it a try? Yeah, I suppose I can. It's pretty easy to get to. I'll make sure that all of them are dead. Hold on. But yeah, I actually didn't pick up the mask that I got for free from the boss fight. Interestingly enough. So we could cross our fingers and hope that it's the Mask of the Father. It should still be there. I don't think it will ever disappear. It'll be sitting in the boss room waiting to be picked up. That should be all of them, right? I do believe so. Alrighty. So from here, we'll just make a run through the catacombs. It's very quick. If it took longer than it did, I probably wouldn't be bothered to do it. Or perhaps I would be. Anyway. We've got 33 1/3% chance of fucking getting this mask. Let's just pray. Pray for it. Mask of the Mother, I refuse to use on principle. Because every person that I ever encountered back when I used to do the PvP in this game, every person that I encountered that actually used the Mask of the Mother was simultaneously shit at the game, but also very annoying to go up against. Because they would use the cheapest and cheesiest methods of fighting you. Like the really low level shit. Like two-handed Zweihander just spamming it at you. That kind of garbage. Mask of the Mother. Because the thing is, it's a certain kind of person who uses the Mask of the Mother. It's that guy who's so lacking in self-confidence that he's willing to give up the defense that you would get from a headpiece just to get that tiny little bit of extra health. That tiny little bit. It really is the ultimate indicator of a bad player, using the Mask of the Mother. It's worse than using the fucking life ring. It's just awful. Alright, where's my mask? Where the fuck is it? It has to be here, come on. You literally... Okay, if you pass up on the mask... If you pass up the mask, you don't get it. Do I really not have a mask here? I actually don't have a mask. Oh well. I was thoroughly convinced that I didn't need one, obviously. Well, that's a real shame. And a bit of a waste of time as well. Shit. Okay. I'm fairly disappointed. I'm especially disappointed by the fact that I can't get the fucking mask as quickly as I would like to because I have to run from the Tomb of the Giants bonfire every time. I can't fucking ascend from the altar of the Gravelord. Because you actually have to fall into it from here. Which is really annoying. I guess I'll just try to get there without the lantern. Should be fine, right? I've got a rough idea of where I'm going. Is it a good idea? No, but I couldn't be bothered fucking equipping the damn lantern. So I'm doing it anyway, man. Should be fine, honestly. I think I'm remembering this correctly. Yes. And there should be straight here and then here. There you go. It helps to have done this for 10 years. It's funny, I'm sure you recall, I had lost the confidence to run through the beginning of the Tomb of the Giants in the dark, which was something that I just used to do naturally, but because it had been so many years since I had last done it, I was like, oh god, I can't do this. But then I eventually tried it and I was like, oh no, I can. Certainly more tentatively than I had done in the past, but I still roughly knew the way to go. And it's actually not so hard because you do, of course, have the prism stones marking the way. But I suppose the uncertainty doesn't really go away for a person when you can't see anything. The prism stones don't mean much if you don't know what's between yourself and the prism stone is the point. I've still got the gold ring on, good. So it seems that the midgets are just here naturally. I suppose I should always expect to see some midgets here. Don't hit me. And you as well. And there's one more, I believe. I'll just watch to see if he drops anything. Maybe the masks don't drop as frequently as I first thought. I don't really want to waste arrows on these guys. That was a really unsuccessful attempt. I may have to forego the Mask of the Father. I'm really quite disappointed that I did not pick up a mask when I killed Pinwheel. I can see why I didn't, but I regret it. I very much regret it. Because you just don't know. You actually don't know if you may want a mask, so it's better to just fucking take it. I'll never know what mask it would have ended up being because I didn't fucking take it, so I feel like I'm spending time that I don't really need to be spending in doing this. And it's really unfortunate. I'm not a happy camper right now. Yeah, good for you. Oops, wrong hole. Wrong hole. There is a hole that I need to fall down. I went to fall down a hole too soon. That was my mistake. I got it right the first time. This is the problem. In trying too hard to remember what I did the first time, I fucked it up. All I need to do is just access the same memories that I was using the first time to get it right, instead of trying to remember what I was remembering, if that makes any sense. Seriously. Yeah, there's a path that I need to try. Oof, that was not quite what I was looking for there. Now I'm rather lost. Am I lost? Holy shit. Okay, yeah, good for you. Now I'm no longer lost. All good. We're under control. Thank God that they mark the position of the souls, because that, I mean... Sorry, what am I doing? There's a hole, right? Yes. Fuck. Alright. Let me put it this way. I want the Mask of the Father, but I'm only willing to do this 3 more times, including this time. So we'll do it now, once more, and then once again. I shouldn't have said once more if I actually meant that I was going to do it twice more, but the point is that I will do it twice more after this attempt. I don't think the Mask of the Father is worth much more time allocation than that. But definitely I do want some... excuse me, I was about to say item discovery, what's wrong with me? I need some equip load. They do drop the masks, by the way. I know that they do. I know it for a fact. Mask of the Father? Come on, baby. I suppose they are rarer than I first thought. Go away. Oh, they poison you. I forgot about that. I think one of the pinwheels actually chased me down there. Their fireballs don't track you very well, do they? I think there's one more. I think one of them was chasing me down there in the water. Possibly. Let's have a look. Oh no, it's just midgets. If it's just midgets, I'm happy to leave. Is that all for today? Yeah. Alright, 2 more to go. It's a bit of work, but... Again, it would be a whole lot worse if I were doing this more than 2 more times. The thing with the Mask of the Father is that most of the equip load you're getting from it, and this sounds kind of funny, but it's true, most of the equip load that you're getting from the Mask of the Father is through the fact that it's a very light headpiece in the first place. It's such a light helmet that the benefits are really strongest in the fact that it doesn't have much weight on its own. But it does indeed have a little bit of extra equip load. It's not totally useless, it's just not amazing either. It's not like this really good helmet, or mask I should say. I mean, it's a headpiece. I'm trying to refer to it as its equipment type, but I should just say mask. Seriously. Hello, Autonomic. But yeah, even though I acknowledge that it's perhaps not as good as some people may at first think, it is worth it for my build, I feel. Because I've happily done away with the defense that I could have had on my head by not using that stupid Xanthaus head wrapping thing. Now I'm using this thing, this unupgraded headpiece, and quite frankly I'm comfortable with it, so why am I just leaving this soul of a hero? Why are there so many midgets around here? I thought they only hung around in the water. I was obviously wrong about that. It's good to be, I suppose, corrected, but here we go again. I'm going to pick that up later. I'm not going to forget about it. I'm just going to deal with these guys first, okay? I'm going to be running into the water. In fact, that'll be the last thing that I deal with. Someone's going to say, why don't you get 410 item discovery, Doom? Like, well, I'm telling you, it doesn't help. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. Alright, so one over here. What is it? Mask of the Child, fuck. Mask of the Child of all the masks is the one that I use most often, but I don't have a need for it here because of my shield. Alright, well we got the Mask of the Child, I'm really not in need of that. Having acquired a mask at this stage is almost encouraging me to continue beyond this last attempt, as I was referring to it. This is now, according to my last decision that I made, my last attempt, but I may, like if I get the Mask of the Mother this time, I'm going to keep going. I believe you can, don't quote me on this, I believe you can get more than one of the same mask. I could be wrong, but I don't think that there's any... Can you not? Can you literally... Oh, I had a feeling that I'd gone in a weird direction. I'd gone too far. Alright, I just need to find myself again. Holy shit, where am I? I do not know where I am. Do I know where I am now? No, I don't. Holy shit. That's 50,000 souls that I need to get back, and I need to fucking get them back immediately. I can't believe I'm being so stupid. Alright, that's... See, it just goes to show that if you lose focus for just a moment, you've got no point of reference. You're in the dark. You need to be paying attention at all times when you're moving. There's a mental map that one is following, you see. And if you lose focus, you're in the shit. Alright, so I presumably continued up here because I was distracted. Stop it. I need to get my fucking souls back, please. Should be down here, right? I landed here, and then here are my souls. Now let's homeward bone. Fuck off. I'm not losing 50,000 souls. That's stupid. Resting at the bonfire, and I'm going to use these fucking souls, you know? Now I feel a little bit better about myself. Far out. Seeing as though I've already got it equipped, I may as well use it this time. But yeah, I suppose I just lost my concentration and ended up continuing through there, which is really not what I wanted to do. I do wish that I had better access to these pinwheel monsters. To be honest, the use of the word monster in video games is very different from my perspective versus perhaps a person who plays Souls but not Monster Hunter. For me, the word monster is almost synonymous with enemy or adversary when it comes to a video game. But perhaps to other people, me calling them pinwheel monsters may sound overly descriptive or perhaps even inaccurate or dramatic. But to me, it's just natural because, again, I play Monster Hunter where literally everything that you go up against is referred to as a monster. It's like saying mob, it's like saying enemy, it's the same thing. So, you know, if someone happens to be watching this that doesn't play Monster Hunter and finds it strange that I use the word monster to refer to enemies perhaps more often than other gamers would, or perhaps other Souls players would, that is the reason why. It's because it's almost synonymous with a neutral term like enemy for me. I say almost synonymous because I do take into consideration the fact that I'm not playing Monster Hunter, but still, if there is an enemy that sort of feels like that it could fit within the category of monster, I do use that word. Like if I'm fighting a Dregling, I would refer to it as an enemy, but if I'm fighting a pinwheel thing, I suppose monster is appropriate. This is not looking like a successful round whatsoever. This is looking fairly fruitless. That was literally a dud. That was a failed round, that was a blank, that was a misfire. I'm going to do another one, definitely, because that was pathetic. That really was just... You know, I feel almost blue-balled by that experience. Alright. Alright, and now, once we pass that archway, we want to continue in this direction, not continue hugging the bloody wall. Where's the hole? Where's the hole? Here it is. Fuck. God. You do become a little bit disoriented when you literally can't fucking see anything. Have I killed Paladin Leroy? Whether I have or not, I'm not going to do it because it would not be in any way helpful to me to get the grant. I think you get the grant from him. Grant is something that I never use in this game. Of course, it was called Brant or Brampt back in Demon Souls. Whether it was Brant or Brampt depended on whether you were playing the Asian English version or the official English version. I don't know. I'm assuming that the remake went with the Atlas translation. Or at least use that as reference. I don't think the Asian English version really withstood the test of time when it came to that. Alright. Fuck, I did not mean to fall down. Oh, very good. Very good. You know what? Fuck all of you. Get out of here. See what I mean? I was going to stop at that last attempt. That last attempt was going to be my last. And then I continued on and got the Mask of the Father. Don't use that as gambling advice, ladies and gentlemen. That's not how that works. Don't apply that to some sort of gambling philosophy. That would be very self-destructive. I'm serious, don't do it. But I did get the Mask of the Father. I'm gambling with my time, okay? I'm not gambling with my money. So it's alright. I got the Mask of the Father, which is excellent. That's now something that I don't have to worry about. If I failed to get it, I would have been constantly frustrated by the fact that I didn't have it. But now that I have it, I don't have to worry about that. Thank God. Alrighty. Mask of the Father. It's almost nostalgic to see me using this. If I were ever using a mask that wasn't the Mask of the Child, it would be this one. Because the Mask of the Mother, I'm telling you, I've never done a single playthrough with that fucking mask. Never once. It's crap, it sucks. It's literally not worth it. The defense is more worth it than that. Alright, so I think we want to head to the Ulasil Township, is that right? Yes. We will take on the Black Dragon Calamite, which I have a distinct feeling will be fairly easy to kill. Using a bow. I do genuinely feel that way. Alright. I do need to first speak with Hawkeye. Actually, no. Did I get the key? I think I did get the key, didn't I? Yes. I should have. Crest key. That's the one, right? I think so. I remember that I did actually kill that mimic. I killed him normally, I didn't even Lloyd's him. And I got the key, and I believe it is the crest key. If we are going to fight Calamite, you must interact with Hawkeye Goth. That is a requirement. So I will do that. It is the crest key. My memory has not failed me to that extent. Or to the extent where I was wrong about that. Listening to him talk is just not worth it. Alright, so we need to exhaust his dialogue here. And then I will engage Calamite. Because I have yet to do that. Which I probably would have done first had I remembered that I needed to do that, but I did not remember that I needed to do that. My memory has failed me enough to at least have prevented that from entering my mind. But anyway. We will make our way to the Black Dragon Calamite, or at least the area where he's breathing fire. Oh. It seems that if you kill Manos too quickly, you won't be able to get the Lord's Blade set. Which is regrettable if that's something that you were wanting. It was not something that I was wanting, actually, so I'm glad that I didn't make a mistake there, but yeah, that's a good thing to take note of. I'm sure that at one time I would have been aware that if you killed Manus before interacting with her, you won't be able to interact with her anymore. But, yeah, that was not something that I needed to do this time, And also that entire scenario and how that transpired should hopefully legitimize in your mind the use of the wolf's ring. This is the reason why I have it equipped. It's so that I can actually take a hit. It makes a huge difference. Poise is a big deal. I think that that's the difference between a person who is inexperienced in souls and someone who's perhaps a little more experienced. Poise is one of those stats that really your average person may not see the use of, but if you've played enough souls, and you've been able to compare the difference in experience between having poise and not having poise, you know that that's worth one of 2 ring slots. Like, that's actually worth your time. I've only got one more homeward bone. I probably should purchase some. Fucking hell, there goes that. I just spilt my wine all over my keyboard. Let's turn that off. And, bloody hell. Alright. I need to purchase some homeward bones and I will do that, but I will actually take a moment to ameliorate this very frustrating situation. It's because of my setup. Sometimes my glass is in an awkward position. I'm trying to Alt-Tab. Well, that's why I can't Alt-Tab. It's because my keyboard's off. Well... Okay, let's turn it on then. Uh-oh. It's flashing red. That's never... It actually doesn't work. That's bad. What I'll have to do is... Alright, fine. For fuck's sake, seriously. If I've ruined my keyboard, then so be it, but... Ugh, I just spilt wine all over it. Goodness sake. I don't have one of those keycap removers either, so I can't actually get under the keys. Fucking hell. Alright, let's try to sort this out. It was a lot of wine too. It was like... God, how much was it? Must have been... Let's just say 200 mils of wine just poured all over my keyboard. I'm sure that'll be entertaining to someone. Fuck me. It's literally pouring out of it. Fuck. And it's gone like right through it. Holy shit. At least it's not a laptop. If it's a laptop, that's, you know, a broken laptop. This is just a broken keyboard if it has actually broken it. Fucking hell. Well, these are the dangers of having liquid close to your electronics. Occasionally a major accident will happen, and that has happened today. Fucking hell. Yeah, give me a second. I now need to engage in a mop-up operation. Holy shit. Like, literally, so much wine had gone into the keyboard that it was actually coming out of the keyboard from all corners. Like, it was actually dripping out. Like, it wasn't just where I had spilt it, it had run through the entirety of the keyboard. Now, if I mop it up as best I can and let it dry, it might be fine. Like, if anyone's experienced spilling liquid on electronics, sometimes you just let it dry and it's fine. But, if it's broken, so be it. It's not actually that bad of a thing, because, ironically, I was considering replacing it anyway, because it's a little bit too big for my setup. I don't even know if I'm properly on camera at the moment. To be honest, I only half care. I can't check, because my keyboard is not connected, so I can't Alt-Tab out of the game and check OBS. But anyway. Yeah, that was not fun. But I do have another keyboard, the one that I use for communicating on Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. It's connected to my Wii U. I'll just have to connect that into my computer and then use that going forward. Anyway, I will continue the cleanup operation. I apologize that you have to essentially wait for me to get this sorted. This is what it means to be live. I'm literally sitting here having to deal with it as it happens. But maybe that's entertaining in and of itself. But yeah, that keyboard, the one that I just spilt wine all over, was kind of expensive. Like, it's a Logitech gaming keyboard with mechanical keys, obviously. But it's a little bit too big for my setup. Like, I have a little table in front of me right now with wheels on it, which I actually use both as a recording thing, but also for my PC. And the keyboard's just a little bit too long for it, so there is another Logitech keyboard that I would like to get. I can't quite remember what it's called, but it would be much nicer for this setup, basically. So I was thinking of actually getting that anyway, but now it may actually be entirely required. Oh well. This is my fear. Like, I'm really fucking worried about using a laptop on this table while drinking wine. I suppose, or any beverage. I suppose what that means is that if I ever do get a laptop to put here, and the only reason why I don't have a laptop to put here at the moment is because my old one is just so atrociously slow and bad that I don't want to even use it. So, you know, the ideal scenario is to, rather than have my phone as a chat monitoring device, I would just have my keyboard in front of me here on the table that is in front of me. But, you know, if that were a laptop that just happened to, that would be devastating. Absolutely devastating. So, like, if it were my old laptop, I wouldn't give a shit. But if it were a new laptop, that would be, you know, to start with, there'd be a very high chance that would be the laptop dead forever. Or at the very least, irreparably fucked in some way. And it would be really regrettable. Really regrettable. So, essentially, if I ever do at some point decide to put a laptop here on this table, I cannot also have a beverage there. I can't do it because eventually, you know, through the nature of probability, I'm going to spill something on it. So, don't do it, man. Don't do it. This was your word of warning from the universe. Oh dear. Sorry, I haven't checked the chat for a while. You feel bad for the wine. It didn't deserve it. I'll have you know it was a good keyboard. I actually, I had foolishly dropped the keyboard at one time and it punctured a little bit of a hole in the back. Well, that little hole in the back is now, like, wine is pouring out of that hole. And it's in a completely different spot to where I spilt the wine, so it's gone through the whole interior, the whole internal workings of the keyboard. So, oh fucking hell! I have to go and connect my my old keyboard to it now. So just give me a second. My lovely setup. Unplugging this unifying receiver from my Wii U was notably, difficult. I actually had a hard time doing that. Alright, now we're under control. Now I can actually see what's going on again. Fucking hell, what a nightmare. That's one way to derail a fucking live stream. God. Again, that keyboard may not be done for forever. We'll just have to wait and see. But when I turned it on after having spilt wine on it to try and alt-tab out at least, the light that is usually green, which suggests that it's on and connecting, was flashing red, and it was not responding. So, maybe not a good sign. But it may not be the end. We'll see. Anyway, we're back on track. Sort of. Definitely regrettable. But, I have to get my earphones back in. That's the beauty of a live stream, isn't it? The thing is, it's so convenient to have it in front of me, but I don't even remember how it happened. I think I may have I misjudged where it was in relation to my hand, and I knocked it instead of grabbing it, and then, yeah, that was the end of it. And yet Doomlink continues to do it anyway. Quite frankly, I lost like half the glass. Whatever was left in it, which was almost half of the glass, ended up inside my keyboard, so cheers to that. What was I doing again? Purchasing Homeward Bones, I believe. I'm hearing the sound of screaming, which is lovely. I'm not really impressed that I now have to use this old keyboard, because basically the layout of the keyboard is quite different to that other keyboard, and I've gotten used to that other keyboard, you see, so now I'm going to have to use this one again, which is quite different, and it's going to be uncomfortable to type on for a while, but whatever. That's alright. A little bit of activity, bit of action. Oh yes, I do have my mouse here too, by the way. Fortunately, my mouse remains unharmed. Fortunately. I was never intending to replace the mouse, so I'm glad that that's fine. So stupid. Because I suppose that was the one thing that was stopping me from replacing that keyboard. It was the fact that it was a perfectly good keyboard, like it just worked fine. This incident may have changed that. And it may also speed up the purchasing process of that keyboard. That's alright. That's fine. Now, what am I doing? Filing Shrine. We are headed for Filing Shrine. We are bound for Filing Shrine. I still can't help myself. I don't want it to be too far away from me because I don't want to outstretch my arm. I want it to be here, like right here. As long as it's not on camera, which it shouldn't be. Let me make sure that it's not. It's not. So, this is the point. It's all about convenience, but unfortunately, it's just a dangerous business. You know what this probably means? It probably means that I can never have my laptop here. I suppose that really is what it comes down to. If I am so intransigent as to say that I refuse to have my wine glass anywhere except precisely right in front of me, then it means that I can't have my laptop here. If I were to get a decent one. It just means that I have to use a keyboard and a phone to monitor my chat. And obviously the keyboard to do whatever I need to do with the keyboard. So, yeah. That is the situation. And it's a little awkward. But whatever. I would rather make, you know, you're sort of balancing factors of convenience. I would rather have my beverage close to me than not close to me while playing, so yeah. I will take that over having the convenience of a laptop in front of me to monitor chats. Maybe difficult to imagine, but that's how it is. Whatever. Maybe I'll highlight that, I don't know. Depends how funny it is at the time. Or how funny it was at the time and how it looks to watch it back, but anyway. Now that we have engaged, or somewhat engaged, Calamine in that area, we can speak with Hawkeye Goth. Yes, the dragon is posing me duress. Not especially, like I'm not required to fight him, but like I'm not desperate to enter those grounds where the dragon is breathing fire, but it's very good of you to shoot him in the wings so that he can't fly, although none of you got to see that because I skipped it. But hopefully you can forgive me for that. I'm not especially willing to sit through that again. I'm currently sitting on 16,000 souls, which is certainly more than I needed to purchase those homeward bones, but I thought that I would use all of those souls anyway. I do still have 2 souls of a hero, so if I'm ever in need of souls, that's fine. There is always the temptation to actually use these consumable souls whenever I want to level up so that I can level up in that moment, but there is definitely a use to having consumable souls in your inventory if the event arises when you actually need souls but don't have any. Like, that is your immediate access to more souls. It's a form of insurance. It's your assurance that you'll always have souls if you need them. So, I think it's good to do that. To actually keep the souls in there, in your inventory, rather than just immediately using them to level up. You can jump around all you want, my friend, but it's not going to work with me. Alright, I'm going to go to the bathroom. I am in need of that. But, yeah, I'll be back in just a moment. I'm back. There's something that I need to check. When I started this recording, it was... Oh no, that's fine. Basically, when I started this recording, it was a little bit bright, because there was a lot of natural light coming through. My recordings are not as influenced by natural lighting as they were in the past. Like, these days it's fine. But it was so bright that it was actually starting to affect my appearance, so I actually lowered the brightness of my webcam for the first time in years, actually. And, yeah, I was thinking maybe it was a little bit too dark now, because I'm not getting that brightness from before, but no, it looks fine. Like, I don't look especially dark or anything, so I'm happy with the way it looks. It should be rather fine. So, now that I have confirmed that, let us resume. The infamous wine glass returns, of course. Bastard. That's alright. I needed to get that other keyboard anyway. It's an excuse. Well, I needed to get a new keyboard. And I'm going to get one that's much more appropriate for my setup. It's because basically I need space for the keyboard and the mouse to be on this table. Some people perhaps, it sort of depends on how they use their mouse, I guess, but I usually have a higher sensitivity mouse than other people, so I don't need as much space for the mouse to travel to be able to comfortably use it. But, you know, it was still getting, it was a little bit on the edge with my previous keyboard, the one that I just spilled wine all over. As I said, I think that this confrontation is going to be pretty easy with the bow. Probably even easier than what's-his-face, Manus. Oops, unless I do that. You can see my defense is pretty good. I'm overall pretty content with my damage and my health. Come on. I knew there would be a follow-up. Of course, it's when I'm not actually evading him that he does the follow-up. But when I'm evading him, no, he's content to do one. The good thing is that because I'm doing this, I'm not going to have to worry about his I pressed the button to roll, okay? I fucking pressed the button. But because I'm keeping away from him in this way, I don't have to worry about that annoying attack where he brings you close to him in midair. That attack, which creates that awful sound. Ugh. Not pleasant. But yeah, because I was so far away from him, I didn't have to worry about that at all. Look how effective this is as a strategy. Certain enemies, certain bosses especially, really do suffer at the hands of this sort of ranged combat. I pressed the button. I'm gonna need a fucking, like, separate, like the speedrunners do, I'm gonna need a separate camera of my hands playing on the controller so that you guys know that I pressed the button at the right time. Input lag. I need to play on a CRT. Oh shit, that was dangerous. Excuse me. Can't fucking see what's going on. Oh my god, that might kill me. That might kill me. Dark wood grain ring, thank you. You fucking saved me. my god. Dark wood grain ring in conjunction with a pure bow setup really is creating an amazing combination here. Oh, that was a nasty flinch. I haven't seen that in a while. If ever. Here we go. The clean hip fire to the face. That's nice. Goodbye, Calamite. It's actually not because I want anything from you that I've killed you, it's because I want something from Hawkeye Goth. Alright, give me the soul. 60,000 souls in new game from killing him. There is also a chest over here, which gives a Titanite slab. That happens to be extremely important and helpful. The chest looks a bit weird, looks almost out of place. But I suppose that makes it more noticeable. It's still pretty easy to walk past, though. I would say the first 12 months of me playing this game when the DLC came out, so basically beginning with when the DLC came out, which was like June 2012, maybe? Maybe earlier? Let's say... Ugh, look, May 2012, that's just my random guess. From then until, 12 months had passed, I probably didn't at all know about that Titanite slab. It didn't exist to me. But I did find out about it. And the funny thing is that period of time was when I was playing this game most often. Like, I played a shitload of the game during that time. And yet I never knew about that slab. It eluded me. Strangely enough. Okay, so we now need to speak with Hawkeye Goth. We're sitting on 77,736 souls. Which isn't too bad. But probably only enough to level up once. In fact, certainly only enough to level up once, and probably only barely enough for that. So... anyway, that's not especially relevant. We are currently seeking to acquire the Hawkeye Goth bow, and all soul expenditure will be chiefly focused on upgrading this. Where's my fucking bow, asshole? Do I have to kill you for it? Yes. Yes. Well, why did I have to talk to you twice for that? Very well, proud human. Well, guess what? I didn't appreciate the fact that I needed to fucking talk to you. Twice to get it. Should have just been once. Alright, you can see it's pretty big. It is a great bow. That is how that works. But if I'm doing a pure bow build, it would be quite inappropriate to completely ignore the great bows. That would be really dumb. Okay, I'm assuming that I cannot equip the Avalon. No, I need a lot more endurance for that. Ooh, yes. That's alright. One day. The question is it worth purchasing some great arrows now? No, thank you for the resub, Takashi, I appreciate that. They are so expensive, aren't they? I was talking about leaving my souls for the upgrading of the bow, but look how many souls are required to purchase these arrows. They're definitely better than standard great arrows. But you have to pay for them too. You have to pay for that increased effectiveness. I'll get 30. Doesn't sound like much, but it's fucking expensive, so I'll settle for that. Didn't really mean to fall there. Well, this is lovely. This is precisely what I wanted, yes. Fuck off. Alright. So, Upgrading the bow, again, is something that I will do now, because it's better to do it now rather than in New Game Plus. I don't have much Twinkling Titanite, but that's okay. What I will do first and foremost is get enough Titanite chunks to be able to upgrade this sword once more. I will confirm how many I need. It will probably be 6. But I will confirm it nonetheless. Remember this fucking place? Oh my god. Battle of Stoicism. Oh my god. This, if I were to actually do PvP in this place, it would be an absolute nostalgia trip. Because it was only in the first year of the DLC coming out that I even bothered with that shit. It wasn't interesting at all to me. I didn't care about it. It was too set up. It was too much of a duel scenario. I wanted to invade people and slaughter them. But then I suppose it was more fun to have set up duels, but outside of that sort of invasion system. This was, for example, like where I am now, was a very common invasion zone, and you would have people standing here specifically to be invaded, and you'd invade them, and yeah, I recall doing that quite a lot. Standing here and killing invaders and summoning people as well, and I mean, it was also common to act as host between two invading spirits that would then fight each other. I did that for a period of time. Like, I hosted some confrontations. And it was funny to find an aberrant player who decided, oh, I'm going to fucking kill you instead. And then they would get utterly destroyed because myself and the other person would gang up on them under those circumstances. So it was either you had a one-on-one with the other invader, or you just got shat on. Like, that was your choice. So yeah, it was interesting. I found it enjoyable to watch, you know, two people fight while standing here. And I did that quite a bit. There are many stories that I could tell you about those days, but I don't know. Also don't want to reminisce too much. What should I do? I will head to the Undead Parish and check to see how many chunks I need. Upon confirming that, I will head to Firelink Shrine, then kill some Dark Wraiths, and hopefully it won't take too long to get the chunks that I need in doing that. Oh. What? I only need one more chunk. I don't know why I thought I needed as many as 6. That's a bit dramatic. Literally double what I actually needed. Wow. Obviously my memory sucks, I don't know. Is it really only 3 to get to plus 14? Is that... How could that be? Because I'd imagine it would be 1 to get to plus 11. You're telling me that to plus 14, it has only increased by 3? How does that make any sense? That doesn't sound like a natural progression of required upgrading materials. Like, that's difficult to make sense of, but I trust the game. Like, I'm sure the game's not lying to me. Just seems a little strange. I don't know. One would imagine that it would increase the number of required materials more than that by the time you reach plus 14, because keep in mind, you only need a slab to get to plus 15 at that point. Also, because I have re-evaluated the situation, I realised that I can comfortably get 2 slabs per playthrough, and I can also get in excess of that through good luck. I will use one of my slabs, keeping in mind that I currently have 2, to fully upgrade my Boulder Side Sword. Or perhaps I don't actually need a slab to upgrade Goth's Greatbow. It may only require Twinkling Titanite, in which case I am further encouraged to just use one of my Titanite slabs. Like, why not? Goodbye. I do not actually have my gold ring equipped. I need to do that now. I wish you were flinched by that, but I'm using a regular bow and not a great bow. Thank you. I have the chunk that I need, but you know what I'll do? That's right. That's right. I also wanted to upgrade my shield. I see. But that's okay, because again, the two chunks that I have now can be used for the Boulder Side Sword and the shield, and then I can just use Twinkling Titanite to upgrade Goth's Greatbow. That was one of the reasons why I decided to get Goth's Greatbow and use it before even bothering with the Dragon Slayer Greatbow. Because the fact that it requires Twinkling Titanite means that I don't have to worry about the whole slab system, and the fact that I have limited slabs to allocate to upgrades. It's really quite helpful. So, yeah, I'm happy with this turn of events. Yeah, no matter what, you were going to hit me, weren't you, asshole? He keeps his shield raised until he's within range, and then essentially we inevitably trade hits. What an asshole. Alright. This is the getting everything sorted for New Game Plus recording of this build. But I hope you agree that there's actually quite a bit of depth to this build. There's more depth to it than I expected. I was expecting it to be a very basic sort of, just make the bow, upgrade it, use it, but there's a bit more to it than that. Lots of considerations to be made, and it's been enjoyable, actually. Where's my door? There it is. Asshole. But yes, I will definitely kill all of the Dark Wraiths here, because I believe that my chunks will be very helpful in upgrading this shield. I'm assuming that it's regular Titanite to upgrade the Grass Crest shield. I have not recently upgraded the Grass Crest shield, I have to tell you. In fact, I do not recall the last time I would have upgraded it. It's hard to imagine. Dick shot, look at that. I wish the arrow stayed there, because it would have literally marked the spot of where I prevented him from ever procreating. His manhood had been quite forcibly removed. Maybe not removed, but at the very least damaged beyond all repair. Although maybe there's a special magical ability that exists within the Soul's Law that allows the healing of one's penis. I don't know what I'm saying. It's neither funny nor clever, so I'd better stop. Alright. Homeward Bone. I'll leave it there just for now, because I would like to focus on upgrading the Boulder Side Sword and the shield until I have a better idea of how many chunks that I need to upgrade the shield. Titanite chunk, and let's do it. Slab for plus 15 Boulder Side Sword. The effectiveness of the Boulder Side Sword really doesn't mean too much, because I'm not going to be using it. It is a backup weapon in the event that a bow is, for whatever reason, unusable in a scenario that I find myself in. Okay, Grasscrest Shield requires regular Titanite shards, which is good. I believe 9 will be required for the first round of upgrades. Alright. I do have some large Titanite shards, but I don't think that's enough to get all the way up to plus 10. I see. So it should be 5 more. No, I need 5 from this point, but I only need 4 more because I've already got 1. I believe that the giant blacksmith sells them. So I will go and avail myself of his services. No, I intended to go there, that's why I selected it, you see. Alright. But yes, I am progressively upgrading my staff, which needs to be done now. I mean, you need to deal with the basic upgrades of all the stuff that you're seeking to use in New Game Plus while you're in New Game. It's very important that you do that. Otherwise, you'll just be underleveled for the early game of New Game Plus. Not literally leveled in the sense that your character is not a high enough soul level, but I mean, you have not actually reached New Game Plus level because you've got stuff that still needs to be upgraded. New Game Plus is designed for players who have fully upgraded their stuff in New Game. That's how that works. You can have the Crystal Ember, enjoy it. In fact, why did Andre not ask for it? Maybe he can't work with it. I'd forgotten that. Anyway, let's purchase some large Titanite shards. I said 4, correct? Let's see if I'm right about what's needed. I am right about what's needed. Frustratingly, I need to go to Andre for the next upgrades. But oh yes, and if you are of the mind to instead grind souls rather than actual Twinkling Titanite, you can instead purchase Twinkling Titanite from this guy. 8,000 souls apiece. You know what I have to say about that? Killing those clams in the Crystal Cave is faster. It would not be faster if you were doing the Ash Lake Twinkling Titanite grinding strategy. That would actually be slower than grinding souls and purchasing Twinkling Titanite from this guy, but I really do think that it's faster, considerably faster, to grind Twinkling Titanite from the Crystal Cave. So yeah, my recommendation would be to do that, rather than purchase Twinkling Titanite. The purchasing of Twinkling Titanite, or the ability to do so, is a convenience that exists in the scenario where, oh, I've got a lot of souls, I don't want to take the time to deliberately kill enemies for Twinkling Titanite, I only need like maybe 1 to 3 more Twinkling Titanite, I'll just buy them. It's nice to have that as an option. But if you need a lot of it, better to grind the actual item. Grasscrest Shield plus 11. Presumably 2 more upgrades? No. Okay, that's fine. It's strange that I thought that the Titanite chunk requirement had a much steeper incline than that. Anyway, let's get some more. I don't know how many more we need, to be honest. Like, how is the stability affected here? Quite frankly, this is looking pretty good. We started off at about 51 stability. We're now at 62. That's significant. That's actually significant. So, I would imagine that we'll be sitting at 65 stability at plus 15, which is actually alright. It does not have 100% physical damage reduction, which makes the shield less than perfect. But it's still, having good stability on it is going to make a big difference when it comes to its effectiveness as a shield. So I'm happy with its progress so far. And it is definitely worth upgrading it. I'm not entirely sure if I'm willing to use a slab on it right now, but to be honest, if I can't think of anything better to use a slab on, I may just use one. For example, I think the Avalon also uses Twinkling Titanite to upgrade, and anything that requires Twinkling Titanite does therefore not require a Titanite slab to reach its plus 5 level. So, what that means is that I can comfortably allocate a slab to the shield, I think. Yeah. By the way, the Ring of Favor and Protection would very much assist me in increasing my equip load. But these 2 ring slots, I cannot remove one. Using the Ring of Favor and Protection is tantamount to giving yourself 1 ring slot instead of 2. Because you can never remove that ring. So, I don't want to use it. And I don't want to become reliant upon it. If I become reliant upon it, I will effectively have 1 ring slot, and that's not good enough. I'm not willing to forego poise, as acquired by way of the Wolf Ring, to have better equip load earlier on. I'm just going to commit to increasing my endurance in the long term. That'll be good enough. Fuck you, stupid dark shield. I still have the gold serpent ring equipped, fortunately. How many do I think I need? I've got 3. I think 2 is required to upgrade from here. So what would that be? It's probably 7 from here, to be honest. I'm going to assume that I need 7 Titanite chunks. Oh, actually, I think I missed the Dark Wraiths in here, didn't I? In the last run. Fair enough. Ow. You still fucking caught me with that shit? Arsehole, why am I backing myself into here? That's ridiculous. Don't allow that. You can do better. How does it feel to so expertly avoid my arrows whilst running into a wall away from me? I hope you're impressed with yourself, asshole. Because that was just stupid. There was nothing about that which felt like a legitimate confrontation. It was like a glitch confrontation. Oh, good for you. Congratulations. No! Give it a rest. No. All of my no. Please pursue me. And I mean like all the way over here. Oh, for goodness sake. Motherfucker, get over here. Hello. I knew it. I knew that after all that he wouldn't even give me anything. Dick. Ugh. Part of me feels that aiming down the sight... It's actually not aiming down the sight. You need a sight to be able to aim down sights. This is a sightless bow. You just fucking look at the enemy and you shoot the bow. I feel like avoiding the whole targeting system can at times streamline the confrontation. Oh, for God's sake, you arse. How many have I got? 5? 2 more. 2 more. I can do it in this round, surely. Unless my luck really sucks, which is possible.
Why don't you have 10 humanity in your counter to...
Guess what? It doesn't help. That is my contention, and I'm sticking to it. Ow. He's going for a casual stroll, seemingly unaware of the fact that there is someone out for his life. Maybe his overconfidence got the better of him in that moment. I do also realize that I'm talking about the video game AI as if it were sentient. Can I please have... it has to be you and the next guy. Both of you need to give me chunks for this to work. Otherwise I'll be back here again. For a second, I was worried. I have to get one from you. I have to. There's no option. You have to give me one. I'm actually in need of your charity. Please? Ugh. No, that's all of them. I was thinking if there were perhaps one that I'd missed. No, that's all of them. For sure. Even if there were another one, it would be so troublesome to get to it that it would be better off for me to just go and do another round. Am I impressed about it? No. Do I need to do it? Yes. Am I committed to the objective? Yes. So onward he goes, in pursuit of success. Now what are you all upset about? Mate, we've all got things to deal with in this world. Doesn't do you any favours to just sit in one place and throw a fucking tantrum. Man up. That was, of course, all in jest. I'm sure he's having a tough time. And my callous association... That's not the word that I intended to use. My callous... what was the word I meant to use? Evaluation. My callous evaluation of your circumstances was by no means helpful. Give me a fucking chunk. Asshole. Ow. Yes, you're so intimidating when you walk towards me like that, leaving yourself wide open to death. I am thoroughly intimidated by that. You can tell from the wavering of my voice, the sweating of my palms, and the copious consumption of mum's spaghetti. Come on. He wasn't even facing me. I'm about to die. I felt like I was about to walk the plank. Me hearties, fuck off! I actually thought for a second that that one was alive, and I nearly just let out the greatest shotgun excremental discharge since the brown note was invented. Please stop. Alright, that one can die, or not. I'm sure he can die, it's just that I'm not doing what's required to make that happen. Can you handle me? Whoa, I bet they're confused now. Thank you. The sooner you die, the sooner I can find peace within myself. The last chunk that I need is there, too. Goodbye. Oh, yes. Yes. Alright. I will shorten the grinding session by killing these ones and then promptly moving on with my life. Oh, you would stop right there, wouldn't you? That's intimidating. When he does shit like that, brings his shield up only for long enough to perfectly block my arrow. That's scary. I feel like I'm dealing with an actual master of combat, whereas when they're walking towards me slowly and deliberately whilst being completely vulnerable to my arrows, that shit doesn't bother me at all. I'm sort of sitting here going, well, you're an idiot. But the perfect blocking of my arrows, that scares me. Dark Hand. Guess what? I don't want it. I have very little desire for your Dark Hand. I will actually make a fist-only build at some point, which will involve the Dark Hand. Possibly being used as a shield, but I cannot guarantee it. I would love to use the Dark Hand as a proper weapon, but it's not very good. This is the problem. The concept of it is lovely, but it sucks. Like, the actual weapon sucks. So it does serve as a disincentive to use it. I wish it were better than what it was. I think it may actually have quite high damage just to start with, but it doesn't. Yeah, so 200 damage with no... You see, this is what the problem with this weapon is. It has no scalings whatsoever. That is the issue. That is the beginning of the end of the Dark Hand's problems. Doesn't even have any scaling ability. That's garbage. Anyway. I'm going to take another visit to the little boy's room, and I'll be back momentarily. I've returned. I could have gotten my microphone into place before unmuting myself, but I decided that you needed to hear that. Don't know why. It's just a sudden urge to bring discomfort to your ears. Just need to bring the chat back up. Yes. Oh, it's not pausing again. Who would have thought, right? Twitch not working. Who would have thought? What a novel concept. Fuck you, Twitch, seriously. I hate you with the passion of 1,000 suns. You disgusting application. Anyway, moving on. Current objective, just to update all of us. I realise the game cannot be heard. The game can now be heard. Current objective. Upgrade the Grass Crest Shield to +15. Using, somewhat regrettably, but I think I'll have to live with it anyway. Using a Titanite slab. I think I already said using, but I couldn't remember having said it, so I just ensured that I at least constructed a sentence that could be understood. The fact that it was correct or incorrect was actually irrelevant. It was just very important to me that it could be understood. Well, let's use it. Grass Crest Shield +15. There it is. I do not believe that the Mask of the Father can be upgraded. I don't think they're upgradable. Let's find out. No, it's not even... The fact that it is not even listed as an option really does answer that question, so that's fine. I can live with that. What is the defense, actually? 6. What was my hat? My unupgraded Pharis's hat was 7. So... it's a little regrettable, but I'll live with it, I suppose. Wolf Ring. What else is there to do? These are all +15. Okay, so next port of call is to once again grind some Twinkling Titanite so that we may upgrade Goth's Greatbow. The Crystal Cave happens to be the last of all the bonfire locations in this list. Which is interesting, I had forgotten about that. I had rather foolishly unequipped the Gold Serpent Ring. Well, perhaps not foolishly. I was doing that in case I didn't need to grind anything after this point. It's important to do it while you're thinking of it, because... what is this angle? What is going on? Oh, it's because I'm standing on something. It's like I'm playing a first-person version of fucking Dark Souls. This is quite intense. Look at me go. I have a mod enabled. Look at me, I'm a PC player. I'm modding my game. Are you proud of me? Die. So yeah, I was standing on this thing. If I'm standing here, you can see the angle is rather different. But if I'm standing here... wow. I'm in line with my shoulder. Exciting as that is, I'm now going to move on with my life and pick up my spoils. My spoils of combat. Hello. Sorry, mate. 2 more arrows should do it. I will at some point need to top up my arrows. I've gone through a lot, but when you're literally only using a bow and nothing else, you do tend to do that. See these drop rates? This is why you don't need maximum fucking item discovery. It's just not necessary. What is necessary, however, is that the player, when shooting a bow, aims it accurately. That is important. That will always be important. I do have some homeward bones to expend, so that I may spend less time doing this. If you remember when I was last grinding Twinkling Titanite here, I was not using homeward bones, I was manually returning to the bonfire. It literally saves you 10 seconds, which means a lot. Saving yourself 10 seconds when you're doing this is quite a big deal. Oh, hello, you're closest to me. This is actually off-putting. I didn't even successfully kill you. Why are you still alive? What's wrong with you? You're delaying the inevitable, just accept it. Ugh. Yes, good for you. Would you like to maybe not? Barely survived that. Well, I would have survived it no matter what, but what I mean to say is that I barely escaped it. That's what I meant to say. No. Fortunately, once you have reached a certain point in your pulling back of the bow, you can actually... I'm glad that I gave you a visual representation of what my character was just doing, but anyway, at a certain point you can actually roll, fortunately. If you weren't able to roll under those circumstances, that would make a pure bow build really hard. Awkwardly difficult. I don't know how many Twinkling Titanite shards I need. What do you call them? Shards, chunks. I suppose they look like chunks, don't they? I think they have a very similar icon. Oh, goodness. Let's have a look, shall we? That's a chunk. Yep, it's a chunk. So if I'm to refer to Twinkling Titanite, I can just say Twinkling Titanite. But if I'm referring to the individual items themselves, like if I, you know, as I was before, I would say Twinkling Titanite chunks. Because it's the same thing. The same image is used. You can see the damage is heavily reduced at a certain range. Can you stop? You were not even close to being within my line of sights, and yet, look at you. You just can't help yourself, you stupid clam. No, you just body blocked one of my shots. Thank you. In death, you have continued to be an annoyance to me. Well, he was still in the process of dying. Perhaps one could say that he didn't technically die and then prevent me from hitting the enemy behind him. I don't want purging stones. They can be useful, but that's not what I want right now. I specifically said not to give me them, so stop doing that. Thank you. How many do I actually have? Sitting on 7 at the moment. I probably need 9 for a full upgrade. That sounds about right. Oh my god, why do I always fuck this up? I expect that more of the head is actually hittable, if that makes sense. But it's not. No, you're dead. Well, thanks for dying. And I'm not going to thank you for giving me precisely nothing. That will not get you any thanks from me. Okay, let's bring you first. I don't like you. There's something about you that pisses me off. Doesn't matter. If I hit any of them, they all start coming after me, as you can tell. It's weird how your concept of travel changes so different. Let me rephrase that in English. When you are aimed in, your concept of just how much distance you've traveled by rolling is totally different to when you're not aimed in, because it actually feels like you're barely moving at all. See that? It really doesn't give you a sense of just how far you've moved, but when you're scoped out, you can very much see it. It feels more significant. But when you actually think about it, it does make sense that it looks that way when you aim in. Because if you actually look at your character, realistically speaking, it's not like moving ridiculously far. In other words, the accuracy of it can be confirmed. I do hope that I can, without too much adversity, kill Gwyn with a pure bow loadout. I'm not too sure what to expect. It's not going to be that easy, I know that. There will be a bit of a challenge associated with the process, but I think, based on my experience thus far, it should be a pretty effective way of fighting him. I'm going to hope that, at least. My wishful thinking thrusts that theory into the realms of near certainty. Alright, that should be enough, right? 10 Twinkling Titanite? I'm actually going to not use a Homeward Bone for that. I was using the Homeward Bone so that I could repeat the grinding process. I'm not going to be doing that this time, so I'm going to save my Homeward Bone. I think that would be a sensible thing to do. Let us warp, shall we? Sorry. I shouldn't allow myself to be distracted by my phone, but sorry. Fortunately, I don't have to deal with the fact that Twitch barely works. In other words, like I don't have to worry about minimizing and then not being able to pause my live stream, because it's still paused, thankfully. Thankfully. Now, what am I doing with myself? I'm heading back to Andreeva Stora. And I'm presumably I can do this through him. Can I? Yes. This should be enough. It ended up not being 9, but rather 10 that I needed. Okay. I had the perfect amount. We have a fully upgraded Goth Scraper. How good is that? Still can't use it, but it is perfectly leveled for New Game Plus, where I will be able to use it without much difficulty. My soul level is 91. I'm not going to be deliberately grinding soul so that I may increase my soul level from this point. I think this is sufficient. So, yes, that's what I'll do. I'll ensure that I equip the wolf ring. Shall I purchase some great arrows from you know who? Giant Blacksmith, that's what he's called. He doesn't have a special name. He's got a rather generic name, you see. I'm assuming that regular great arrows, or at least maybe they're called Dragon Slayer great arrows, that is possible. Because remember, I was referring to the Dragon Slayer great bow as the great bow, having forgotten that it was called the Dragon Slayer great bow, so perhaps these great arrows that I'm thinking of, that can be purchased from the giant blacksmith, perhaps those are Dragon Slayer great arrows. They will be cheaper than Goth's great arrows, but I would like... They are Dragon Slayer arrows, actually. Now, how do they compare? 100 physical damage, 100 critical. Versus... Oh, the difference isn't... yeah, the difference is negligible, actually. I wonder how the price differs. What have we got here? 500? I think it was 650 for Goth's great arrows. So to be honest, I think Dragon Slayer arrows are the way forward. I don't think that the increased effectiveness of Goth's arrows are actually worth it. I think that these Dragon Slayer arrows are fine. I will buy them in future. And to be honest, I'll have no choice but to do that because I'm not going to have access to the DLC comfortably until towards the end game. So yeah. I will homeward bone back to the Undead Parish. And we will now seek to conclude this new game run. That is what we will do. I do not know how long it will take from now until the end of the recording to see that through, but I'm going to make an attempt to kill Gwyn and pray that I'm fairly successful. Hold on. I made a mistake. I do actually need to purchase some more large arrows. I've only got 42, and that is not enough for this fight. So I'm going to rest there, homeward bone to... yeah, about that. You know what I can do? I can warp to the Undead Parish and then homeward bone back to here. That's what I can do. Fuck off, fucking Twitch. Anyway. Let us use the rest of our souls to purchase large arrows. We now have 336. That will be sufficient. We can purchase more large arrows from the male undead merchant when we reach New Game Plus anyway, so I'm so stupid. I wanted to speed up the process by using a homeward bone back to the altar there, but no. I was stupid. And I neglected to do that. Let us now offer souls to the Lord Vessel. That's what it's called. The Lord Vessel. Not just the altar, but the Lord Vessel. Alrighty. I will not engage these Black Knights. I'm not interested in them. I am cognizant of the fact that I've been live for a while already, and I'm cutting into much of my day. So what I will do is I will do whatever I can to get this done as quickly as possible. It will take as long as it needs to take, you see. But I'm not going to waste arrows killing these Black Knights. There's nothing that they would drop that I'm in need of. So I'll make my way to Gwyn. It's worth mentioning that at least one or two, perhaps just one, of these Black Knights has a guaranteed drop of a Titanite chunk. But in my opinion, it is much faster to grind Titanite chunks from the Dark Wraiths, no matter what. Unless perhaps you have just really bad luck, like minimal item discovery. We're going to find out how this fight actually feels. I don't know what to expect here. I really don't know what to expect. It's either going to be fairly easy or crushingly difficult. It will be one of the two. I shouldn't be standing... No. See that? That does make things a little harder. I pressed the button to roll, cunt! Are you kidding me? Don't give me this crap. I know how you work. I've fought you enough. Leave me alone. You're gonna do a quick follow-up. I know how you are. He's well designed, like he is designed to shit on you. That is Gwyn. He's pretty good at avoiding magic, I will say. But I don't think he's quite as good at... Oh, see that extended hitbox? I rolled the initial attack, but because his sword remained there, I was burnt by his fucking sword. Oh god. I'm glad I was able to cancel out of that. Pull. See how he avoided, or rather attempted to avoid my arrow in that moment. But actually, he did it there as well. That would be enough to avoid magic, but arrows fly faster than magic. So he's actually designed... See that? He is actually designed to avoid magic, not arrows. So he does have a part of his AI which is definitely like 100% designed to avoid ranged damage, but it is so focused on the timing of magic and how that travels that I can actually comfortably hit him with arrows without him being able to avoid them. It would be in my interest to have him continue to try and avoid me. Oh, this is bad. See that? Oh my god. This is Gwyn, ladies and gentlemen. That's Gwyn for you. He's relentless. He's designed to shit on you. If you try to extend the distance between yourself and him, he will shit on you. That's alright. I find myself emboldened by that experience. I think that I can succeed in killing him with 1 or 2 more attempts. 2 at the most. I'm encouraged to see that the AI which is designed to avoid ranged attacks is not actually good enough to avoid arrows. What that means is that he's basically evading unsuccessfully instead of actually attacking and trying to kill me. What that means is that I can get a hit on him, but he can't possibly get a hit on me. And that makes a huge difference. Like that, compare that to almost being destroyed by him. He hurts a lot. He is aggressive. He's a good final boss. But I have a distinct feeling that the pure bow setup is very appropriate for him. So I'm going to try that again. And I'm going to hope that I succeed on my next attempt. Whatever, man. Of course, that Lord Vessel does give us 20 Estus flasks, so that's nice. I should have healed myself before going in here. I will prioritize picking up my soul. I want him to do his side-to-side jumping, to be honest. That's what I want from him. He surprisingly avoided it there. That's a good indication of why it's very helpful to have the ability to roll while drawing your bow like that. See, it's so fucking difficult to get that opportunity to heal It is almost as if your only opportunity to heal is gained by actually attacking him. See what's happening here? Fucking hell, he's hard. He's so hard. He's very well designed. What I love about Gwyn is that when you die to him, it doesn't feel cheap or cheesy. You literally feel like he's just better than you are in confrontation, which is the way, that's how you design a boss. That's how you design a final boss. He's a very good final boss because he is genuinely difficult in a creative way. He feels like a man who just knows how to fight, and you need to reach his level and surpass him. Essentially, you need to survive whilst dealing enough damage to finally whittle him down. He is technically at a disadvantage because you can heal and he can't. So it's a situation where you need to outlast him. And that can be easier said than done. I had a better attempt first time around. But the effectiveness of pure bow versus him is like, it's good enough for me to not feel like I'm handicapping myself while fighting him, if you know what I mean. I don't feel like I'm using a pure bow build and I'm somehow less effective than I could be. I feel like this is a legitimately good strategy to fight him. So therefore I'm better placed to fight him and shit on him. That's not good. Maybe not shit on him. That's a strong phrase, isn't it? He's shitting on me at the moment. And that's an acceptable phrase to use given the circumstances. Oh, you know what I did forget to do? I forgot to fight Gwendolyn and the Firekeeper. I can live with that, like I'm fine. Come on. This could be a way to cheese him, you know. Could have been a way to cheese him, but I couldn't see it through to the end, you see. He's good for healing, I think, but maybe not. His choice to do a slow attack. Whoa, that's not good. Gave him an opportunity to catch up to me there instead of healing. Yeah, well. You know what I'll do instead? I'm sorry to do this to you guys. What I'm going to do is I'm going to spend the next recording. I'm going to stop here. I'm going to spend the next recording going to Anolondo, making it dark, fighting the Firekeeper, killing Gwendolyn, and then I'm going to fight Gwyn here. It may end up being a shorter live stream than I would like, but I feel that I've recorded for long enough at this point. I mean, how long has it been? It's been 3 hours and 10 minutes. For me, that is enough. You know, I've received a taste of what the Gwyn fight involves with pure bow, and I'm comfortable with it. I just need to overcome the challenge, and it is a fair challenge, and then I will be done. But yeah, I think I would prefer to get another Firekeeper soul and kill Gwendolyn first before doing this. I'd forgotten about it. I'll do that in the next recording. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. The spilling of wine, I would imagine, added a depth of enjoyment and entertainment to the live stream that I wasn't really intending on achieving, but it happened nonetheless. I bid you all farewell for now, and thank you for watching. Bye-bye.